Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. This is Malaka again. The last video we ended off that our basement had flooded, which was not a fun event. That weather I've never seen here ever before, and it caused a lot of issues in the province for hydro. But at least there wasn't too much damage and we were able to kind of maintain it despite the fact that it was absolutely chaotic. But let's continue. Kyle kept distancing himself and chose to focus his time and efforts and everything on hunting. I was a really great hunter's wife. I would stay at home and watch the kids. I didn't have much opportunity to go out hunting myself, which I would have loved to. Though one time that I did get out, Kyle ended up scaring off a really nice buck, claiming he was so excited, which really sucked. And then we had kids and it got really hard to participate, but I was happy to do whatever I could. So he would go out and he would fill all 6 of our tags, and every time he downed a deer, he'd bring it home and I would help with gutting, skinning, quartering, deboning the deer. We would put it in bins and we would take it and put it in the fridge, and then we would clean the meat. Either we would ground it and put it in 1-pound bags and put it in the freezer so it was easy to grab, or we would take meat into a store called Hometown. It's a butcher shop. They do amazing meats. I won't take my meat anywhere else. And we would also keep the backstraps and tenderloins to cook up as well. We basically ate mostly deer throughout the year. So yeah, he focused on hunting. I would basically lose my husband for about 3 months out of the year since we basically got together, which I was okay with. It was supporting the family, it was putting food on the table. It's something that he enjoyed, and I enjoyed helping him after the fact, despite the fact that I still haven't downed my first deer, but I'm hoping to cross that off my bucket list in the next couple of years. So while he was focusing on hunting, he chose to miss out on a Thanksgiving lunch with my family. So the kids and I went to my parents and we had a Thanksgiving lunch together. On October 14th of 2019, Kyle shot his second deer and he brought it home, and as usual I helped him gut, skin, quarter, and debone the deer, which typically took us together an hour, which was actually a pretty good time for people to be able to tend to a deer that fast. We were a good team, at least I thought we were. 2 days later, on October 16th, my mom had come over to help me with the kids. I was cleaning up the meat. That meat we ended up grinding, or I ended up grinding and putting into 1-pound packages. And my ex, Kyle, decided that after work, instead of coming straight home to help me, he had to go and pick up some kind of gun that his brother really wanted. His priorities weren't us, that's for sure. And he said after he picked up the gun, he was going to come home and he was going to help with the meat and help with the kids. I am so thankful for my mom because she helped me. Because his priority, instead of coming home, he didn't even tell me this until after the fact, was instead of coming home, he went to his brother's. His brother only lived 1.5 miles away from us. So instead of coming home, he went to his brother's to give him the gun, and he chose to stay there, talk, and have a beer with him. My mom stuck around to help me put the kids to bed, because most nights I was putting them to bed by myself. So that incident, of course, caused another huge fight between Kyle and I. And he chose to go back to work to try and clear his mind or whatever, and claim that he was going to work all night, which I really don't believe that actually happened. And lo and behold, with the luck that we've been having, our washing machine broke. So we had a top load washing machine, and that had the agitator, and the agitator just stopped working. So that was fun. I was very grateful for my mom, who came by our place a couple times the following couple weeks while we were trying to find a new washing machine. And she picked up our laundry, she washed it, and she returned it after even folding it, which wasn't necessary, but still, I was very grateful for all of her help. My mom and I ended up taking the kids to the zoo, which was Mia's first time attending the zoo. It seems to be one of our favorite places that I take the kids, including Boo at the Zoo, which is a family tradition now with my parents since we separated. This year will be the 3rd year that the kids, my parents and I, are going to be attending. The next day after we took the kids to the zoo, another really bad fight happened between Kyle and I. His brother was doing his roof. The whole roof needed to be reshingled, so they were stripping the shingles and reshingling it. And our stuff around the house was getting neglected because Kyle wasn't home much, and as a single mom of 2 kids, taking care of the inside of the house and outside of the house, it was a lot for me, especially with all the fights and everything else that was going on. It was really, really hard. And instead of him focusing on his family, he chose to focus on helping his brother, which caused a really big fight because his goal wasn't the kids and me. And because of that fight, he didn't end up coming home. The next day, he went back to, he was still at his brother's, and he was helping them roof again. So my mom ended up coming over to help me with some things, which resulted in her taking care of the kids. We had cut down a bunch of trees in the property that were really close to our hydro lines, and there was a huge mess in the yard between branches and sticks, and just huge piles of branches and sticks and leaves and stuff that just needed to be cleaned up. So she took care of the kids, and I took care of the yard, trying to clean things up, because I couldn't wait for my husband to come home to help me with anything, because clearly he didn't care. He didn't want to help, which of course pissed him off, that I didn't wait for him. But when you're waiting several months for help with things and it just doesn't happen, you become independent, which, yeah, I could do everything he could do anyways, so what did it matter? Anyways, he ended up coming home at 9:30, and he ended up sleeping on the couch that night. Things just don't seem to get any better between him and I from that point on. A lot of the fights kept on continuing. But if you want to hear more, please press the subscribe. I will continue doing videos, and I know it's going to be lots because we are talking about 2019 and a lot of things have happened, and it's still not ended. It's still continuing, sadly. So I hope everyone stays safe and has a great day. Thanks for sticking around and listening to me. Bye.